Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. We've got a great season-defining game for you today. As you can see from the table here, we're going to be playing against Arsenal, um, and yeah, they're in first place, and we're in second place with 23 points. They're still 28 points, so they're 5 points ahead of us. If they do defeat us today, then that means they would be ahead of us with like 9 points. I think it is actually, if it's five now, sorry, 8 points. 8 points ahead of us, and yeah, I mean, it would be really difficult to recover from that. As well as City might, if they win their game, then they will be equal on points with us. So really, we need to beat Arsenal just to close the gap, make it just a bit more realistic. We want to hand them their first defeat of the season. They haven't lost at all so far. Just a couple of games to update you on since the last episode against City, which you should definitely watch if you've missed it already. We played it in the Europa Cup game against AZ. It was just a really pretty much simple game. Lingard scored the goal for us in the 41st minute, and yeah, not much really happened. I mean, it wasn't really an exciting game by any means, and we had most of the possession. The only clear-cut chance of the game fell our way, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, and then the game after, it was quite disappointing. A 1-1 draw to Stoke. We did recover from the Marko Arnautovic goal, with Rashford coming off the bench. I think he came off the bench. Yeah, he did. He came off the bench for Depay and scoring the goal for us uh, to highlight, not to highlight, to draw the game for us, basically, because otherwise it would have been a loss, and we got it in the 71st minute, I think, and we couldn't go on to win the game. And as you can see from the stats on the bottom left there, while this loads, we pretty much dominated the game in every single department, barring the yellow cards. But yeah, not a great performance at all. Really should have been winning this game, and that's why Arsenal are 5 points ahead of us, because we drew this and they won theirs. So if we won this game, it would have been just a 3 point gap, and if we won today, it would have been no gap at all. This game in the AFL Cup round where we played Arsenal. I didn't really want to show you guys this game because the EFL doesn't really matter too much, and the Premier Division one was a far more exciting game. It was just a 2-1 loss to Arsenal, and I wasn't too disappointed, even though we didn't get the opening goal, but we had Smalling sent off, which was quite stupid, but then we also had Marshall injured, so they went on to win the game afterwards, scoring a 90th minute winner. And I wasn't too concerned about the game, really. We played quite decently up until what happened, basically. But yeah, Arsenal had their clear-cut chance, and they kind of dominated us, really. But it was still kind of close, and I think we would have had a proper chance if we did have all 11 players on the pitch and we weren't playing with nine players. But yeah, that's quite a disappointing loss for us. Not the loss itself, but rather that we have Marshall injured as well as Mata, two key players. Even Darmian's a bit of he's a great player. Mario Fernandez needed a rest in the last game, and that's why I had to bring in one of the youngsters in Lee O'Connor to fill in as a right back. But yeah, in terms of who's starting for today's game, we've got the usual team, really. Smalling's been suspended for the game because he got sent off in the last game, so Bailly is going to be coming in for us. He's not really made an appearance other than a substitute appearance, basically. He's really upset with his game time since last season, but fortunately for him, other players have stepped up while he went to the African Cup of Nations, and whenever he's played, he hasn't exactly been incredibly amazing. I want to just show you. So I've actually made a promise to him before to increase his first team football, but then he failed because I couldn't give him any game time because Jones and Smalling were playing too great together. So I asked him to wait. I told him they're in a bit of great form, so he understood, but he's only giving me 46 days time to give him some game time. So we'll see if he'll play today. He's not incredibly match fit, but he should be able to do a job there. Jones will be partnering him because he's been playing as great as ever. Shaw as well on the left back spot. Blind and Herrera are not really our standard midfield. We should be playing with Blind and Pogba, but unfortunately for Pogba. Herrera has been in some decent form lately. I'm just waiting until he drops below that 7.04 average rating. Once he drops into his 6 sort of rating, then he'll be switched around for Pogba, even though Pogba's a better player than him. It's fair to say that Pogba hasn't had the greatest of games either. So Herrera a bit, in the team due to form. Lingard's another player who's also in the team due to form because he's got 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 5 games, keeping up his great form so far in that winger role. He's playing much better this season than he did last season. 13 appearances, 5 goals, 2 assists, and 1 player of the match. So he's been great for us so far. Depay is a little lucky to be starting ahead of Rashford for today's game because his last 2 great games were quite a while back. His 8.2 and 8 rating there. He's gotten his 2 goals in those games. Since then, it's been just decent ratings so far. 2 poor ones recently. So if he performs, I think, badly in his next 2 games, his form will drop, and that would mean I can finally drop him again for Rashford, who's been incredible for us so far this season in the left wing position. 7 goals, 2 assists, and he's actually now considered to be a leading Premier Division player. It's not going to show here for some reason, but my assistant already told me that he's a leading player there. And yeah, we got Januzaj still playing because of Mata's injury. Januzaj hasn't been too great recently, just a 6.92 average rating. He did manage 2 assists though, so not too bad. But yeah, I'd rather bring on Mata now since his rating's not a 7 rating anymore. Ibrahimovic also somewhat funny form, but fortunately for him and unfortunately for Martial, if Martial was available. But yes, Zlatan Ibrahimovic did get the goal last game, so I couldn't exactly take him off on the back of that performance. And also, our current backup striker is actually just a youth player, so he's not exactly ready for first team, of course. Even though he's got great attributes, he's only in Sky Bet League One. But yeah, great attributes. I mean, he's really someone to look out for. I'm hoping. It says that he could improve a lot in the future, so I'm hoping he will become a Premier Division player. And he could be a future striker for us, maybe. But really, the future for us should be Martial and Rashford. Anyways, let's just get into today's game. I'm really curious to see how my team performs. This is some serious pressure now. And as you saw last season, Arsenal pretty much have beaten us in every single game we faced them so far. If I could show you the previous meetings, it's literally a loss in our direction every single way. So West Ham and Arsenal have both have proven to be our bogey teams. Arsenal more so because we haven't defeated them a single time. So hopefully we can get our win here. Arsenal are the favourites. They are the home team. They've got an incredible squad, as you can see here. But yeah, I'm hoping maybe we can capitalise on some of the lack of pace in their side and get our first win against Arsene Wenger. Really. Every single time I'm telling them we owe Arsenal after happened last match, and nothing really happens after. So yeah, a win here would be great because we need it. It would be a first win against Arsenal, as well as it'd close a huge points gap. Let's just skip this little intro here, and we'll be kicking off the game. Let's see what team can do. Let's see what Bailey can do. There's a bunch of players who really have to prove themselves in today's games, whether it's form or whether it's ability. They need to show me that they're worth keeping on in the side. And the first highlight will go our way, hopefully. And Bailly almost had a shot to knock it in there. Shaw missing a great chance. Apparently, it's the first clear-cut chance of the game. I don't consider it really a clear-cut chance, but maybe he should have done better there in terms of heading. It looked like a bit of a free header, but he's not exactly known for his heading, is he? So let me see if you could see it here. Yeah, he's only 13. He's not too incredible, but it's probably because he doesn't have the height advantage. But I would like to see those type of chances finished, of course. In the end of the day, it is a clear-cut chance according to the match engine. And Arsenal are going to bring the ball forward here, and maybe they will punish us for that miss earlier. Monreal puts the ball into the box. Thankfully, we deal with it. Januzaj plays Lingard, who finds Ibrahimovic. Can Ibrahimovic do something here? Instead, he plays it back, plays it safe, and Mario Fernandes goes all the way. Instead, De Gea is losing the ball out unnecessarily. Ramsey's going to bring the ball forward here, and he goes all the way, but thankfully he's just hit the side netting there, and it will remain 0-0. I'm just going to quickly give some more encouragement to my players. I did assertively last time. Let's see if passionate will help. I like to do it about every 15 minutes in the game, see if it will help us. According to the stats, though, Arsenal looking a bit better. We did have the one clear-cut chance of the game going our way, But unfortunately, we didn't capitalize. And Memphis will bring the ball forward here. Can he do something? Januzaj finds Ibrahimovic, who finds Memphis, and that is an incredible pass. And again, a second clear-cut chance of the game goes to waste. Now, if we don't, football always shows you if you don't take the moments that come your way, then you will be punished for it. So we really do need to start taking the moments that come our way. And again, it's just happened again. The third clear-cut chance of the game. We haven't scored a single goal. So really disappointing. We're not being efficient at all. And Memphis Depay showing me that I shouldn't have picked him at all and should have picked Rashford. So he's almost definitely getting dropped for the next game unless he comes up big somehow. And thankfully, Dybala's missed that. I don't know how he's missed it, but thankfully he hasn't. And we go into the break the better side, but I don't know whether to tell my players to keep it up or that I'm unhappy, because I'm going to tell them I'm happy and see what happens, see if they can respond. I'm just trying to find a way to get my players to finally beat Arsenal, really. I think we played them must have been like 5 times in the past, well, including this season and last season. So it's been about 5 meetings and we've lost every single one of them. It's almost like as if it's a mentality sort of thing, and hopefully we can respond to it. But Ibrahimovic is just giving the ball away, and Ramsey does incredibly well to find Dybala, who makes no mistake to tuck that into the bottom right corner. And straight away, my team have been exposed after the second half. And like I mentioned earlier, if you don't take the chances that come your way, the other team will punish you, and that's exactly what Dybala and Arsenal have done. And really, just a great finish there. Dybala showing my players how to finish, basically. But that is quite disappointing now. The 60th minute here, so I'm going to make a couple of subs. We're going to bring on Pogba for Herrera, who's a bit tired. Also hasn't exactly... I mean, he played okay, but there's better performance off the bench. We're going to bring off Memphis Depay for Rashford as well, see if that's going to help us, and save the last sub for a little later on. I think what I'll do as well is just switch everyone's roles around, go a bit more attacking, see if that helps us. I'm tempted to keep Ibrahimovic as a complete forward on support duty, because the team seems to play better when he's on support duty, but let's see if the attacking shift helps us a little bit. I might change Ibrahimovic back to a support duty, see how it is, and let everyone else be attacking. But really, all in all, just a poor performance. We've had less shots, the same amount of shots on target, but we've clearly had the better set of clear-cut chances, and Arsenal are going to have a set piece here, and they make no mistake to score again. So we're being punished here for our inefficiency and inability to score clear-cut chances, which is really disappointing, because previous Arsenal games I could say that we didn't really deserve the win, but we clearly deserve the win this time. But if you don't take your chances that go your way, then they'll take theirs, and it'll be a game over. So it is 2-0 up. They are 2-0 up, and we're coming to the 70th minute here, and I'm not really sure who to bring on, because I'm going to switch Ibrahimovic to support role and see what happens. And I think I will have to... I'm not sure whether to give Shaw or Mario Fernandes a bit of a rest, or whether to bring on Pereira for Januzaj and see whether Pereira can have a bit of an effect from the bench. Hopefully he can. But I don't see my team getting to the side now, and Arsenal have gone full defensive here, so you can tell really that they intend to hold on to the lead here. Especially this will send them a number of points ahead, 8 points I think we mentioned. I'm going to go into overload and see what happens here. But really, it looks like it's going to end 2-0 to Arsenal. Even if we score a goal, I don't see us scoring 2 in the last 5 minutes of the game. And all in all, terrible performance for my players. Depay missing 2 clear-cut chances on his own. Shaw's chance wasn't really much of a chance, so at least minimum we could have gotten a draw here. And we're going to come away with a 2-0 loss instead, and Arsenal are going to be celebrating this, as they've pretty much shown their title credentials again. And it looks like if they continue as they have been so far this season, they're definitely going to win it this year as well. And they might do it undefeated as well, because they haven't lost at all season. And I will tell my players off this time. I'm going to tell them I'm not happy with what I've seen. But yeah, as you can see here, 8 points away. 8 points, and we're coming up to halfway of the season. It's just really poor, really poor. We've given City a chance to climb above us, and we've started the new season incredibly well. But again, you don't capitalize on your performances, on how you play, then you're just going to be punished. And it's strange how Depay normally would have scored those chances, but this time he hasn't scored them. Um, Let me quickly have a look at the table here. As I mentioned in the last episode, you can afford to lose 5 times and draw about 5 times in a season, but any more than that, then you're not going to end first at all. And Arsenal have won 10 out of their games, and they haven't, it wasn't exactly easy games. They've beaten a couple of not like huge teams. United, Chelsea, Everton as well are a bit tough as always. City, Newcastle are back in the Premier League as well, so they have a good squad too. But it's all good wins, and most of them have been convincing. Um, but yeah, this loss is definitely the worst loss of them all. In terms of when we'll be back, it'll be quite a while. Maybe the Chelsea game, but maybe a little bit after for the Tottenham game instead. It really depends on how the season goes on. Um, Tottenham are quite far down, as well as Chelsea, so it might not even be worth showing this kind of episode. But maybe later on they'll catch up, so you never know. Everton doing horribly. They look like they're going to be relegated at this rate. But yeah, I think that'll be all for today's game. As always, if you enjoyed the episode, please hit the like button as well, subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys.